You ever just climb in your truck bed to put gas in your boat tank on your roof?
On your roof?
I do that all the time. What's going on, guys? We are doing another F250 video. This episode, we're just gonna do some basic maintenance kind of stuff on it. Just kind of fix the stuff that it needs to be fixed. That way we can get this thing running and driving reliably, and then we can start having some fun with it. So we're gonna fix these step panels. They're really rotted. I want to pull this seat out, just get all of this rust out of underneath here, and see how bad it is. It doesn't look too bad. I think if I sand it down and maybe paint it, it'll look pretty good. But man, it's just like layers of rust underneath of it. You can see stuff like that. I mean, dirt, rust. I mean, it's been sitting in the woods like you guys saw. So we're gonna try to splice those in. And then I also got a box from LMC, and we should have everything for our brakes. So we can try to get those brakes working on this thing. If you guys saw the video where we drive this thing, it did not stop. So we definitely want to be able to stop this time whenever we drive it. And then I'm gonna do little stuff like put the tailgate on. I got some hinges for that. That'll be pretty simple, easy to do. Put these lights in and get this thing, you know, just better than what it is now. All the little kind of stuff that we need, so that way we can drive this thing on the road. I actually was able to find a tire very similar to this, because these are very dry rotted. They hold air, but they just roll really bad. They're not very balanced. They drive like a cement roller going down the road. They'll work for now, but I just love the way they look, and I don't want them to pop or anything. So I found some newer tires. I'm gonna try to get them. They're very expensive, but I think we need these kind of tires to make the look of the truck. Also, if you guys noticed in the driving video, we're missing like half our lug nuts. So when we do the brakes, we're gonna try to get some more lug nuts so these wheels don't fall off when it's going down the road. Hopefully we can get this thing driving better than what it is, and then we can move on with our plans for it. Once we get that going, I will tell you guys what is next for this truck. If you guys noticed, there's an empty spot next to it. Yes, our 56 Cadillac Eldorado, she's going off to a better home. Well guys, we have a lot of projects that we have to get done and build for you guys. So unfortunately the Cadillac is going to a new home, but it's in a good place because this guy, he's a Cadillac expert, and he's gonna restore this whole thing back to factory spec. So I'm really happy it's going to a good home. I wish we had a little bit longer with it, but he seemed pretty determined to get this thing back on the road, and that's what we like to do. So we're glad that it's going to a good home, and you'll probably see it once again on our channel once it's fully restored. So you'll see it then. All right, well, we got it all loaded up. They're heading off to go bring it to their shop to restore this thing. So you guys will probably see this back on the channel once it's restored and driving around. So you have to wait for a future episode where we go to this guy's shop and see what he's gonna do to this thing. So pretty awesome. You guys will see what we have in store for this soon, but right now let's get to putting this thing together. All right guys, we were lucky enough to actually have this tailgate. These tailgates are pretty hard to find, and this one's not terrible. The top of this thing is pretty rotted because it was actually flipped upside down and sitting in the mud for a long time. So I'm gonna just use it because it kind of matches the style of the truck. It's kind of ratty. I might try to fix this eventually. I mean, I don't want anybody to grab it and cut themselves, but I might put a plate over it just for now, just to keep people from cutting themselves or whatever. But it's a cool look to it, and so we're gonna slap this thing on just with some hinges that I bought, and it'll really clean up the back of this truck. All right, got the tailgate on. Pretty simple. I'm not really sure how this latch is supposed to work. I think that's how it goes. I don't know. But anyway, I have to look it up. But you can see the top of this thing. It's pretty rough. So maybe I could find a piece of metal just to wrap around it and put it on just to Looks a little better, but I mean, look at the rest of the truck. So, tailgate's on. The other thing I forgot to mention that I wanted to fix was the key. The key, it does not do anything except for turn it off. So I gotta figure that out. And I wanted to figure out this fuel pump. Fuel pump doesn't work, so I'm probably just gonna put electric fuel pump on it for now with a regulator. Just be the easiest thing for this right now instead of replacing that one. I could replace that one, but for what we're gonna do, probably not gonna bother doing that. So slap fuel pump on here, and then it should be able to run and drive for longer than a few seconds. So I'm gonna fix all those issues and we'll get back to you. Alright guys, so how we're going to be solving our rust issues is we got these panels from LMC. So these are the step panels that we need to weld into place so that we don't have to jump over that big hole every time we get in the truck. We also got these rocker panels also that we're going to be welding. They attach to the step panels, and as you can see, they're pretty rotted on the side of the truck. So we're going to be putting these on there, and they'll make the truck look a lot better, a lot more solid, and then putting these step panels on as well. So I'll show you how we do it and then see what other stuff we can get into today. Alright guys, so what I'm going to be doing first is just cutting this edge out, and then I'm going to place that other panel in here, see a rough cut of where it's going to fit. I'm just going to cut this whole section out. There is some rot that is leading up into this section as well, but I think I can probably find a piece of metal to patch that, and it should probably be good enough. This thing has been patched like 100 times, it looks like, in its life. So we're not trying to make a show truck, we're just trying to make it functional. The truck is never going to be a show truck. I mean, we like the way that it looks now, we just want it to be a little bit better, a little bit more drivable. So I'm going to cut this out and then try to fix this rocker panel also. The bolt for the front fenders are broken off, so I might try to make something to hold these front fenders down also. Put that all together, and then we will go to the other side, do that side, and then after that I want to try to get that key working. I don't know why it's not working yet, but I'll have to figure out the wiring issue with that, and also try to hook up our fuel pump. I got just a boat tank with an electric fuel pump I'm going to hook up. That way we don't have to keep pouring gas into it to get it to run and drive. And then once I hook that up, we should work on the brakes, and it should be a running and driving car. So hopefully by the end of this episode, we get this thing running, driving, and stopping, and that way it's a reliable running and driving car, so we can move on to our next step. Well, it's really easy to cut it out when there's hardly anything attaching it. So you can kind of see what we're doing here. We got this piece cut out, and then we're going to be welding this piece in. So it's a lot more rotted up there, but like I said, I'll probably find a piece to wrap around there. I still need to trim it a bunch more. Probably needs to go up, probably cut this whole edge off and raise it up into this seam. But yeah, we'll get it all trimmed up, fit it into place, and I'll show you how it looks. So I got this trimmed down, and then I trimmed the panel down a little bit so it could fit into the spot that we need it. Then I'm going to just hold it up with the jack so I can get it positioned where I want, and then I'll just tack it into place so that it won't move. And then I can start cutting out these strips of metal to just fill in the gaps that it has, because there's a lot more rust in this thing once you start cutting into it. So trying to just cut all the rust out, fill it with good metal, and then it'll be a lot better than what it was. So I cut out this piece, and I'm gonna put that behind this rail here so we can start tacking this piece in. I'm just gonna stick it on this side here and then work my way around and tack it and then form it to that side. There's a body mount here, so I'm gonna have to just cut it to be around that body mount. So you kind of see what I'm trying to do here. Just bend this piece around, and then I just wire wheeled the back of that, so it's good metal behind there, and then got it wrapped around that corner, holding it down with these clamps. I just tack that in place, and then continue working it around to that side. So should work pretty good. Definitely this thing, I mean, you can see like somebody replaced this panel, somebody replaced this panel, so it's kind of hacked together as it was, but we're kind of just redoing some stuff that somebody had done before. Got it all tacked up around the top, just spot welded, but way better than it was before. I can probably put my weight on it, and I can get in the truck without falling through, so it's pretty good. So that's what I have so far, and then I'll just repeat the process on the other side. So now we did the first side, so now we're just going to repeat the process on this side. On this side, actually, it's not as bad. It's bad, but it looks like he actually replaced this again at one point. So we're going to cut this out. I don't think I need to make this back piece like I did on the other side. It'll be a little bit easier, but this rocker's a lot worse, so I'm probably going to have to extend this more. So you can see in the back of the here, this whole cab mount is rotted out, so looks like we're going to be doing cab mounts in the future also. Honestly, probably could use an entire cab. There's some holes in the roof also, but like I said, it's been sitting in the woods for 20 years, so what do you expect? So going to cut this out and then do exactly what we did on the other side, tack the new piece in, and so on. Alright, I got this thing clamped up pretty good, kind of fitted where I want to. So now I'm just going to throw some tacks on it, get it set in place, and then weld the rocker on. Got this thing all kind of spot welded in place. So just trying to get this whole thing tacked up. Got it pretty much where I want it to, so now I got it all welded into place. So I'm going to paint it, throw some seam sealer on it, call it good. Good enough for now. Keep the water out.
I figured out the starter issue, so it wasn't starting with the key. If you saw in other videos, I had to jump out and use the key, which was a pair of channel locks. We were getting 12 volts across the switch and to the solenoid right there, but nothing was happening. Went and grabbed another starter solenoid and put it in. You got crankage.
Ew.
So that's a whole lot better.
Alright, got some seam sealer on this side, the other side in, and that's wow also so it doesn't rust. I got the key working.
Yes.
Watch this.
You just breathe on her. Yeah. Doesn't start. No fuel.
Yeah, we don't have any fuel. Alright guys, so you saw us weld those pieces into the floor. Now that we got that done, we're going to be working on the brakes on this thing. That's our next thing that we have to get done in order to get this thing running and driving. So hopefully we can get the brakes done in this episode, and then we should be able to hook up our fuel pump, put some fresh gas in this thing, turn the key, and drive it. So let's get into these brakes. So I just took a pry bar and pried behind here, and it popped right off. So there's nothing in here. Great. So that's not good. We got our wheel drum, we're gonna pop it off, and then you can see our brakes. So this is our wheel cylinder. This is what holds the fluid to pressurize the shoes in the drum brake system. So we're going to replace these because they'll go bad over time and you won't have any brakes. especially in this car, is a single barrel master cylinder. So if you lose one brake, you'll lose all your brakes. So we definitely want to get this replaced. Eventually, I'm going to try to do a disc brake swap on this so we won't have to worry about this, but just want to get it by for now. That way we can do some really awesome videos in the next few days here. So I have a new line I'm going to replace also with the wheel cylinder. So we're going to pop this thing off and then get it run up to our master cylinder. Alright, so, alright, hit it. Alright, we got one brake working. All the rest have no parts in them. There's no shoes, there's no springs, there's nothing. So, instead of me buying all of this stuff to fix all these drum brakes, we were trying to figure out a way to do a disc brake swap on it. So I'm not going to go out and buy everything, but this will at least get us able to stop and be able to drive it around a little bit better than what we did. So we have something helping us stop, but we have one brake. So we're gonna try to see how long this will last. All right guys, well, we got our brakes bled. We have one brake. After all this work and stuff, I popped the drum off and there's nothing on there. Initially, I just ordered wheel cylinders for this thing, thinking that I was gonna replace some kind of a maintenance thing, but the guy ended up taking all the stuff out and we needed to replace everything except for one brake. So it's better than nothing. So we got it just temporarily hooked together. Like I said, I want to do a full disc brakes on this truck eventually. So it's really no sense of me spending all this money to do the drums if I can just swap in all disc brakes later on. So that's my plan for now. We got it kind of bled and it will be able to stop. It's not going to drive on the highway or anything, but it'll be good enough to just put around so that way we can get the motor dialed in and running good. So now I'm going to hook up an electric fuel pump to get some fuel to this carburetor, and then we should be able to take this thing for a drive. I got my boat tank hooked up. We hooked it straight to the carburetor. We put an electronic fuel pump in there just temporarily because our Y-block fuel pump isn't working. So now we got a fuel system, we got a brake, we got steps, and we got our key working. So from the last video, we've come a long way. So now you hit the key, fires up, and we run. All right, so now we're gonna try to drive this thing.
Ooh, showroom ready. Bam.
Reverse.
Ah.
Definitely don't need a power steer. I'm just going out the road.
Okay. Don't run out of gas now. Oh god, he's gonna drop it. The turning radius on this thing, pretty good.
Alright, we're driving this thing. Got our key working.
A brake.
A brake working, and
Careful of the fuel tank.
you got a fuel tank
On the roof.
Definitely smells cool.
Yeah. Is the temp gauge working? It's in the center.
I don't think it's in this.
Okay, this is the road. Holy crap.
Alright.
Alright, let's see what our off-road capabilities are. Up. You missed the Starbucks? Just hop the curb. I don't know. Just turn the radio out. Ooh. Sounds like something rattling. Oh. A little warm. Kate, how's it going?
We're gonna guess again.
Again. Oh, it's just like before.
Oh.
Yeah, our janky setup, we're out of gas. But we're only like 100 yards away.
We should get some more gas.
Yeah.
I think-
Oh. Here, primer up.
Ever just climb in your truck bed to put gas in your boat tank on your roof?
On your roof.
Do that all the time. That way too often.
Here's our setup currently.
So
Yeah,
that's
that's
pretty good. I feel like it's not bad. It's just we
Ran a gas.
didn't do it. Yeah. I mean, like it just ran the gas. And we have an alligator clip. Other than that,
Mint. Where you at? Bring her on back. It's still in low. Oh. Oh my god. Holy crap. I don't know. Freaking the shotgun just went off. Oh, and fireworks.
oh, that wasn't us. So this is a boat tank, and I have a hand pumper. So I'm pumping the fuel to an electric fuel pump. Is it on?
Yeah, it's on.
The real MVP is the starter.
Yeah.
We originally started this series pulling the starter out, and it works good. So,
But the guy said, oh, it needs a new starter and stuff. All we did was pull it out, test it, threw it back in. Look at this thing, look. Oh.
Alright guys, I think that's it for this video. Thanks for watching.